So, what is Writ? Writ is a course that introduces students to essential principles of reading, writing, and reasoning at this post-secondary level. Students are required to identify, summarize, analyze, and evaluate multiple short readings and write persuasive response essays to develop their vocabulary, comprehension, grammar, and critical thinking. Writ course learning outcomes. Writ course learning outcomes. If you are taking this course, it means that your program requires a Writ credit as part of your diploma, certificate, or similar credentials. In fact, because almost all diplomas programs have a writing component, you can be sure that your class will be similar in content, structure, and approach. In short, all students will have a common or shared experience in Writ, regardless of their program. Although each school offers a variation of Writ and assigns a different course code, they're all consistent in their approach to the introductory writing. Because all Writ courses are equivalent credits, the courses listed above also share identical course learning outcomes, which are sometimes referred to as CLOs and appear on your course outline. As such, this textbook refers to the following common learning outcomes, and they appear at the beginning of each chapter and section. 1. Identify author, source type, audience, purpose, and thesis in written prompts. 2. Summarize the arguments of written prompts. 3. Evaluate supporting evidence for arguments. 4. Write complete sentences and paragraphs using effective vocabulary. 5. Express a clear written argument. 6. Provide evidence in support of arguments. 7. Apply basic principles of quotation integration. 8. Apply dictionary resources to reading and writing. And 9. Write short essays applying principles of argumentation in response to prompts. What you'll need to succeed. This resource is suited best to students who use Microsoft Word as their word processing program, which is available to most students via the Google Chrome browser for internet activity, a laptop or desktop computer with Windows operating system, though some considerations are made for Mac users. Organization. This textbook is divided into 5 major units designed to guide first-year college students who have a high school education or equivalency, as well as support for non-native English speakers through the steps toward proficiency in English writing for Canadian college success. Unit 1, putting the pieces together, writing content. Unit 2, putting the pieces together, writing organization. Unit 3, putting the pieces together, writing style. Unit 4, putting the pieces together, writing mechanics. Unit 5, putting the pieces together, writing supports for EAP. Okay. Putting the pieces together, the rubric. When learning how to writing clearly and concisely, whether it be a formal research project or a short, argumentative, non-research essay, it is useful to have a clear guide to help you understand what makes a piece of writing effective. To help students understand the components of a good piece of writing, we use grading rubric and Writ curriculum. So what is rubric? A rubric is a scoring tool that explicitly represents the performance expectations for an assignment or piece of work. A rubric divides the assigned work into different parts and provides descriptions of the characteristics associated with each part at different levels of mastery. Educators use rubrics for a wide array of assignments: papers, projects, oral presentations, artistic performances, group projects, etc. They use rubrics as scoring or grading guides to provide formative feedback, to support and guide ongoing learning efforts, or both. In Writ, you'll quickly become familiar with the reason and writing rubric. It's a document your instructor will use to not only assess your writing, but also provide you feedback on how to improve. You should always review your rubric feedback to track how you have improved or to locate where you may need a bit more help in some areas of your writing. Writ grading rubric. Below is the Writ grading rubric used to evaluate your writing. The categories you see also reflect organization of this textbook. Itchy nose. Content, there's a graph here. Content, organization, style, and mechanics. So it looks like exemplary context, sophisticated thesis claim, persuasive assertions that fully support the thesis claim, sound and specific proofs that fully support assertions, clear and detailed summary. So expertly organized, commanding style. So there's different styles. There's different ways you can organize. Sound, unified argument with parts ordered climactically. Paragraph sequence, inevitable, fully coherent paragraph structure. Strongly organized, clear argument. Paragraph sequence logical. Paragraph structure obvious. Adequately organized. Adequate argument. Paragraph sequence traceable. Paragraph structure evident. Unsatisfactory organization. Insufficient argument. Arbitrary paragraph sequence. Disjointed paragraph structure. Weakly organized. Thesis claim. Slightly connected. Lots of confusion in that part. So, and there's different styles. Commanding style, transition, use natural and seamless, emphatic use of varied sequence, sentence types and structures, appropriately formal language, clear and concise style, transitions varied and nuanced, command of sentence structure and word choice, formal language attempt, adequately clear, satisfactory transitions, adequate, varied of sentence structure and word choice, little or no formal language. And there's mechanics based on errors, exemplary, few errors, some minor errors. Putting the pieces together. What are writing prompts? Writing prompts or timed essays are learning. Writing prompts or timed essays are learning assignments that guide or prompt students to write about a specific topic in a specific way. Prompt writing is a long-standing and effective way to teach writing composition because it encourages students to develop their ability to focus on a specific issue, idea, or concept, and to offer their own opinions on the topic the prompt presents. Prompts stimulate student critical thinking and provide students with the opportunity to formulate a reasoned and structured argument in response to another writer's viewpoint. Why are prompts used in Writ? Learning to write well takes time and practice. Becoming a better writer, whether for academic or professional purposes, can only begin if you actively engage with other writers and, most importantly, other viewpoints. Responding to another writer involves not only understanding the argument or position that they make, but also determining whether you agree, disagree, or partially agree with their position. Your goal as a developing writer, then, is to articulate your view clearly and concisely on an issue, to support it with solid reasons, and to respond to potential arguments other readers may raise about your own argument. How are prompts used in Writ? In Writ, weekly prompts are used to allow students to demonstrate their understanding of the writing process. Through guided writing practice, your instructor will use timely and topical writing scenarios so that you can apply the various aspects of writing competency in an incremental way each week. Sure, writing weekly can seem daunting for some or repetitive for others, yet it is important to remember that learning any new skill involves a level of repetition. That's true. Learning to write is an learning to write is an I never seen this word before. Iterative process, which means you will get better the more often you write. You know what they say, practice makes perfect, and this is especially true when learning to write. Using prompts regularly as part of our writing curriculum can boost the chances that you will not only improve as a writer, but also feel connected to the writing process itself. Understanding writing prompts. A strong prompt response contains several components which must all work together to produce a finished product with which other readers can engage. As an emerging writer, we hope you will develop a number of skills to ensure you are understood. These skills include the ability to create a clear thesis, main argument, develop a logical organizational structure, use effective and formal language, vary your sentence structures, write cleanly without grammatical error, to express yourself clearly and concisely. So I'm going to highlight that because I have a feeling I'm going to need to know that. Okay, now understanding writing prompts. So create a clear thesis or main argument, develop logical organizational structure, use effective and formal language, vary your sentence structures, write cleanly without grammatical errors, to express yourself clearly and concisely. Perfect. While learning to write effectively depends on your ability to master many of these skills, one skill can be taught quickly: how to understand a writing prompt. In fact, this should be the first skill you focus on as a developing writer. Why? Because if you are unable to understand a piece of writing, then responding to it will be very difficult. Put another way, to make an argument about something, You'll need to make sure you fully understand the arguments made by another writer, in our case, the writer of the prompt. This skill requires more than simple reading comprehension. More often than not, strong students receive a weak writing grade because they misunderstand the prompt. In order to respond successfully, you must learn to analyze the prompt before responding to it. Okay. So, how to understand our writing prompt. Questions to ask. The first phase of composing a strong piece of writing occurs in the pre-writing phase. And in Writ, you'll practice and learn how to plan your writing responses. Unlike a formal research essay assignment, where you'll often have weeks to research, plan, and compose a polished final essay, in Writ, your responses will be shorter and designed to be completed within a set period of time. The ability to respond in writing quickly is a core skill you'll practice in Writ. That skill is called time on task writing. While the pre-writing phase will be shorter, you should still learn to ask a few key questions about the prompt to help narrow down your overall writing goal. When reading a writing prompt, the following are helpful questions to ask and answer. What is the topic of the prompt? What is the main argument or thesis the author makes? What is the purpose of the prompt? Why does the author want to convince you of her argumentative position? What kind of details or supporting points does the author provide? Do I agree or disagree with the author's points? Why or why not? Can I provide reasons to oppose the author's argument? Do I understand why I support or oppose the author's argument? Okay, I'm going to highlight that. So when reading a prompt, the following are helpful questions to ask and answer. What is the topic of the prompt? What is the main argument or thesis the author makes? What is the purpose of the prompt? Why does the author want to convince you of her argumentative position? What kind of details or supporting points does the author provide? Do I agree or disagree with the author's points? Why or why not? Can I provide reasons to oppose the author's argument? Do I understand why I support or oppose the author's argument? By asking and answering these questions, you can jumpstart your essay outline and formulate your own thesis. A good way to begin is to write a one-sentence response to each question. Okay, let's highlight that. A good way to begin is to write a one-sentence response to each question. Whether you practice this skill in class or not, there are a number of ways that you can do so every day. So a one sentence response to each question. Okay. Okay. Read an opinion editorial on a news site. Oh, these are different ways you can do it. Read an opinion editorial on a news site. Watch a film documentary. Watch a television interview. Listen to a document podcast. Track a social media hashtag. Okay. So, film documentary, for example. What was that one called? Social media hashtag. So, for example, on a film documentary like that one, it's like, what is the topic of the prompt? Which in that case, the topic would be mental health. What is the main argument or thesis the author makes? It's on a psychiatrist. What is the purpose of the prompt? All right. Make most of the media with which we engage on a daily basis comes with thesis statements, points of view, arguments both well supported and not so well supported. The more you bring critical thought by applying the core questions from above to these spaces, the more you'll develop into a critical thinker who is ready to become a critical writer. Perfect. Putting the pieces together, tips for writing prompts. Writing prompts, the instructions. A writing prompt in Writ will ask you to consider the same set of questions each week. The prompt instructions remind you that there are 3 very important components that should be included in your response for optimal success. Below is the standard prompt instructions that you'll see each week in Writ. Write a multi-paragraph response in essay format, introduction, body, conclusion, to the article below. Your response should accurately summarize the author's main argument and critically respond to it. You may choose to agree with the author's argument, to disagree with it, or to partially disagree with it. Your essay should also consider at least one objection a reader might have to your argument. You may respond to the objection in different ways. For example, you may argue against the objection, or you may acknowledge the objection is a good point and incorporate it into your argument. It's your choice. I see. So I'm going to highlight that. So instructions of writing prompts. Multi-paragraph response. In essay format. Introduction, body, and conclusion to the article below. Your response should accurately summarize the author's main argument and critically respond to it. Perfect. Hey. Just reading Writ, because be starting college in a week, and this I think is going to be it's like a 600-page paper thing, and we do it in 3 months, and I think I'm just trying to review a bit of it. Okay. Prompt. Failing to address each of these goals will significantly reduce your ability to respond appropriately and completely to the prompt. Don't worry, though. In Writ, you'll learn how to respond to each of the requirements listed in the instructions above. It will just take a bit more time and practice. I don't know who that is, but okay. Prompt writing guide. When you study a writing prompt closely and use it as the basis of your outline, you will be better. So basically, just to study it closely and use it as the basis for your outline, you will be better equipped to address the goals of your own response. It's important to do the following when reading and responding to a prompt. Number 1, identify the purpose of the prompt. Each piece of writing has a purpose. In a prompt, the writer will attempt to inform or explain an idea to the reader. In addition, they will always present an argument about the issues they raise, and in most cases, they will use details, facts, scenarios, or examples to persuade you that their point of view is correct and valuable. It is your job to prove that your point of view is more valuable than theirs. Writing tip. Your essay response should use specific ideas, concepts, and information found in the prompt. We call this mobilizing evidence. In referencing prompt details, you directly address the argument and support points the author raises rather than using details and examples from your own personal experience. What? In referencing prompt details, you directly address the argument and supporting points the author raises rather than using details and examples from your own personal experience on the issue. You will discover that in so doing, you will present a more formal essay that is in conversation with the prompt. Argumentation at the post-secondary level is all about discourse. The conversation you have with things said and written about by others. Okay, so let's say specific details, concepts, and information found in the prompt. Mobilizing evidence. referencing prompt details. Writing tip. Wait. Two, read the writing prompt carefully. First, read the prompt once over to get the general sense of the prompt's topic and the position it takes. Then read it again. This time, focus on the author's thesis and the key points of each paragraph. So first, read the prompt once over, topic and position. Then read it again, this time focus on the author's thesis and the key points in each paragraph. Writing tip. Identify the part of the prompt that tells you exactly what you should write about. Identify the parts of the prompt that tells you exactly what you should write about. In most cases, you'll find the author's thesis within the first paragraph of the prompt. Most often, the thesis is the final sentence of the first paragraph. That's helpful. The thesis is usually the final sentence of the first paragraph. Look for interesting punctuation, like a full colon, or a set of dashes, as these advanced punctuation techniques draw attention to information, which is something a strong writer wants to do presenting a thesis. Okay. Three, read the writing prompt one last time. This time, identify any keywords or ideas that give you more information about what to write and how to respond. So the first is identifying the purpose of the prompt. 2, read the writing prompt carefully. The topic and position. Then read it again. Focus on the author's thesis and the key point of each paragraph. Read the writing prompt one last time. Identify any keywords or ideas that give you more information about what to write and how to respond. Writing tip. Words such as should, must, may, mandatory, or required, when used in the context of an argument, will often signal to a reader the author is making a claim or providing a reason to justify their position. Review any keywords in the subsequent paragraphs of the prompt to help you gauge what the author's supporting points may be. Paragraphs in a prompt will often be used to provide additional reasons to support the author's thesis. These are sometimes called points and proofs. So when they use words like that, signals to the reader the author is making a claim or providing a reason to justify. View any keywords in the subsequent paragraphs. Supporting points. 4. Provide reasons and use details from the prompt. Provide reasons and use details from the prompts. Always use material located in the prompt to help you explain your position and to persuade your reader that your point of view is more valuable than that of the prompt writer, regardless of whether you agree, disagree, or partially agree with the premises of the prompt itself. Writing tip: use direct quotes, summaries, and paraphrased material from the prompt to support your opinions and ideas. Remember, you must show your readers that you are engaging directly with the author and the ideas you present in the prompt. For example, if you disagree with a suggestion made in the prompt, citing a direct passage and explaining why you disagree with it will help to persuade others to see your viewpoint. Putting the pieces together. Sample writing prompt A. The following article, Learn to Use That Laptop, The Case for Mandatory Computers, by Enrico Turing. Okay, so I gotta read this writing prompt, and then follow the instructions. I gotta go pee.